All right, strap in everyone, because today we're taking a deep dive into something pretty fascinating. Those subtle signs of female attraction. But here's the twist. We're looking at all through the lens of Stoicism.
Sounds a little unusual.
You know, it might at first, but stick with us. Applying this, well, ancient wisdom to the world of modern dating, it can really unlock some serious aha moments.
What's so interesting here is that Stoicism, it's not about turning into some emotionless robot.
Yeah, definitely not what we're going for.
It's about really harnessing those emotions, especially, in the crazy world of dating. Just
Oh,
imagine, instead of getting all swept up in that anxiety and wishful thinking, you're suddenly able to clearly observe, really see those signals she's sending, and then, respond with that calm confidence. That's what we're talking about here, the power of the Stoic approach.
okay, so no mind reading or mystical stuff. We're talking more about understanding the subtle language, right?
Exactly. Think of it like this. Noticing those little cues that most people miss in all the noise.
I like that. Cutting through the noise. So what are we looking for?
Well, today we're going to zero in on 6 specific signs.
Okay, I'm ready.
But, and this is important, remember a Stoic never jumps to conclusions. They observe and they understand.
Got it. Observation is key. Let's start with a classic, that lingering eye contact. Everyone knows it's important, but what makes it, more than just being polite?
Well, if you think about it from, say, an evolutionary perspective,
Mm-hmm.
like out in the animal kingdom, holding that eye contact, it's often like a dominance display, a way of, testing the waters, seeing how that other individual responds.
So we're not peacocks flashing our feathers exactly, but
But there's still that little bit of primal energy there.
I can see that.
When she holds your gaze just a little bit longer than usual, she's trying to figure you out, your confidence, your presence, whether you're the kind of guy who uh, can meet her gaze without flinching.
Okay, so she's not just trying to make me sweat, she's gathering information.
Hmm.
So how should a stoic guy respond differently in that moment?
Okay, so let's say you're at a party, you're chatting with someone you're interested in, right?
Right.
Now, a non-stoic guy might get flustered, look away nervously, or even worse, like try way too hard and stare her down, you know?
Yeah, I can see that happening.
But the stoic guy, he gets it. This is just a test, a natural part of the whole dance. So he holds her gaze calmly, confidently, showing he's present and engaged. He doesn't let that energy, her energy, sweep him away.
So it's that balance between meeting her intensity without letting it throw you off.
Exactly.
I like that. Okay, on to sign number 2, and I feel like this one can be a little tricky. We're talking about intentional touch.
Yeah, touch is powerful. It's a whole different way of communicating. But it's about those little nuances. I mean, a quick brush of the hand when you're both laughing could just be friendly.
Hmm.
But if her hand lingers on your arm during a conversation,
Hmm. Okay.
that's different. Or let's say you're walking side by side and her fingers keep accidentally brushing against yours.
Oh, I see what you mean.
She's testing the waters.
Yeah, like seeing how you respond to that subtle escalation.
Exactly.
Okay, so if I'm reading this right, the non-stoic guy might completely miss those signals.
Could happen. Or he might jump to conclusions and make a move way too soon.
Yeah, neither of those are good. So what's that stoic approach? How does he do things differently?
The stoic guy observes, without going overboard. He sees she's trying to see where his comfort levels are if he's open to something deeper. It's not about making a move right away. It's about acknowledging that signal, right?
Right.
And responding in a way that respects those boundaries while also showing he's receptive.
Okay, so let's say she touches my arm and just lingers for a second. What would be a good, stoic inspired response to that?
First thing, don't flinch or pull away. That just makes you look uncomfortable. Instead, subtly acknowledge it. Maybe a small smile, turn your body a little towards her. Even a light touchback, if it feels right in the moment.
Okay, so you're showing her that you're aware, but you're comfortable and you're open to more.
Exactly.
Wow. It's amazing how much deeper this all gets when you start thinking about it through this lens. Okay, I'm ready for sign number 3. What's the deal with those private conversations? Why are those important?
Think about it this way. Someone pulls you aside at a party. It's crowded, lots of people around.
Right.
Or they suggest grabbing coffee, just the two of you. Or they start texting you late at night when everyone else is asleep.
Interesting. It seems like they're looking for a connection that goes beyond the surface level, something more More intimate, more personal.
Exactly. It's like she's stepping away from that audience, showing a little vulnerability, wanting a deeper, more authentic connection. Now, the non-stoic guy might get all caught up in this and the excitement of it,
Yeah, like she's totally into me.
Right. Jumping to conclusions.
So the stoic guy takes a more measured approach.
Yeah, he'd recognize she's inviting him into a space that's, more intimate. But he wouldn't assume it means anything specific about where things are going.
Yeah.
Instead, he just enjoys that one-on-one connection, lets things unfold naturally.
So you're saying it's not about reading too much into every conversation, but about appreciating the chance to connect more deeply and seeing where it goes from there?
Right.
This is giving me a whole new perspective on those late night texts. Okay, what's next? What's the next subtle sign we're looking for?
Let's talk about the language of the body.
Yeah.
Even without words, she's constantly communicating, expressing her interest. Those subtle changes in her posture, her gestures, her expressions.
Yeah, but that's where it can get really confusing, right? Like, how do you know the difference between friendly body language and the kind that, signals attraction?
You got to be a good observer. A Stoic doesn't get hung up on a single gesture. He's looking for patterns, those clusters of behaviors. So, for example, if she leans in when you're talking, mirrors your body language, maybe twirls her hair playfully while she's making eye contact.
Oh, okay, that's painting a picture.
It's like each gesture is a piece of a puzzle, and when you put them together, you start to get the full picture.
I like that analogy.
But here's where that Stoic approach really shines. The non-Stoic guy, he might see those signs and get, overeager, maybe even misinterpret things as a green light to, get physical.
Right, but a stoic stays grounded.
Yeah, much more aware of what's happening.
So he recognizes she's showing interest, but doesn't let it go to his head.
Exactly. He keeps that cool confidence, focusing on building that rapport and connection rather than, forcing things.
It's more like, this is interesting, let's see where this goes, instead of, I've got this in the bag.
Exactly. It's that balance between being open, receptive, but also, holding back a little.
Yeah.
Super important in those early stages of attraction.
This is fascinating. I'm seeing how those small details can actually be pretty revealing. All right, what's next? Tell me about the power of compliments.
Everyone loves a good compliment,
Right.
But when we're talking about attraction, it's not just the words, it's the why behind them, the intention.
So there's a difference between her saying like, oh, you look nice today, and something more personal.
Huge difference. Let's say she compliments your sense of humor, your style, maybe even something specific about, your physique that she finds attractive. It shows she's paying attention, noticing those details that make you unique.
She's seeing you, not just anyone.
Right. And then she's drawn to those things, to you. Now, the non-Stoic guy might hear that and, his ego gets a little boost.
He's totally fallen for me.
Yeah, something like that.
But a stoic guy would have a different take.
He wouldn't be rude or act like he doesn't care, but he wouldn't let it inflate his ego either. He appreciates it, sees it as a sign of interest, and just keeps being his genuine self.
That's really interesting. So you're saying it's about enjoying those compliments without letting them, distract you from the bigger picture of building that genuine connection.
Exactly.
Man, I'm seeing a pattern here. It's like each of these signs can be interpreted in two very different ways, depending on your mindset.
That's it, and that's what makes the Stoic approach so valuable, right?
Mhm.
It helps you see things clearly without all that distortion from your ego or insecurities. And you respond in a way that's both confident but also respectful.
All right, before we move on to the last sign, can you quickly remind everyone what we've covered so far?
Sure thing. We started with that lingering eye contact, the primal test.
Yeah.
Then we talked about intentional touch, how she's gauging your comfort level with physical intimacy. After that, it was the power of those private conversations, creating a space for deeper connection. Then we dug into body language, looking for those clusters of gestures that reveal her interest. And finally, we talked about those compliments, those specific ones that go beyond just, generic flattery.
Wow. Okay. It's a lot, but it makes so much sense when you put it all together. All right, I'm ready for that final sign. Tell me about bringing up, sexual topics in conversation.
Okay, this is a tricky one. So easy to misinterpret. When she brings up something with that flirty undertone, references something kind of provocative from a movie, tells a slightly risque joke, it's not necessarily a direct proposition.
Okay, so she's not saying, let's hook up right now.
Right, it's more subtle than that. She's seeing where your comfort levels are with that kind of talk, how you respond to that playful, suggestive energy.
I see. So a non-stoic guy might misinterpret that and make a move too soon.
It definitely happened,
Hmm.
which might make her uncomfortable.
Yeah, not good. So how should a stoic guy respond?
He stays calm, collected,
Yeah.
shows he's comfortable with the topic without getting all, flustered or overexcited. He might engage in the banter, match her energy, or even steer the conversation, in a more personal direction if it feels right.
It's about being on the same page without taking it as a direct invitation to get physical. This is making me realize how much I've probably overthought things in the past.
It happens.
It's so refreshing to think about dating with this calm, aware perspective.
That's the beauty of the Stoic approach. It's not about pretending you don't have feelings. It's about using those feelings, channeling them into something productive, like being a good observer, interacting thoughtfully, and making confident decisions.
All right, I feel like I got a serious upgrade to my dating decoder ring or something.
No.
We covered those 6 subtle signs, and I'm seeing them everywhere now.
It's all about being more aware.
It is. But here's the thing, the question I keep coming back to. How do we actually use all this stoic wisdom in, the real world of dating?
That's the key, right?
It is. It's one thing to understand those signals, but actually navigating all those emotional ups and downs.
With that grace and confidence.
Yes, that's the part I want to figure out. It's like, okay, great, I see the signs, but what do I actually do?
Well, you hit on a crucial point. Stoicism, it's not just about, sitting back and observing. It's about taking action, but from a place of clarity and control.
I see.
Remember that core principle? Focus on what you can control. You can't make someone be attracted to you, but you can control how you present yourself, how you respond to those signals,
Yeah.
and how you choose to, move things forward.
Okay, so walk me through. Let's say I'm seeing some of those signs, the eye contact, the touch, maybe even some compliments on, my rugged good looks. What's the stoic approach to actually making a move? Do I just wait for her to do something?
No, it's not about playing games or being passive. It's about taking those risks, but doing it in a calculated way, right? Staying true to those Stoic principles.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
So let's use an example. Back at that party, you've been chatting with her, and you're seeing those clusters of signals, the touches, the playful banter. She's leaning in when you make her laugh.
Yeah.
Now, a non-Stoic guy might get all excited and just blurt out, I'm really into you, let's get out of here.
Oh, yeah, I can see how that would not go well.
Especially if she's not feeling it yet.
Right. Way too much pressure.
But the Stoic guy, he's thinking about control, right? What can he control?
Mm-hmm.
He wants to create that opportunity for connection, but without forcing things.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of